Are you tired of that affiliate marketing hustle? Chasing the latest trend, throwing links out there, and just seeing nothing happen? Well, today we're going to throw out that old playbook. We're talking about building a real, sustainable digital business from the ground up. So let's dive in. So let's just start with the million-dollar question, right? The one that seems to trip up almost everyone. Why do so many affiliate marketers, well, fail? The answer is actually surprisingly simple, and it's the key to everything we're about to unpack. And here it is. This is the core of the problem. Most people get stuck chasing tactics. A viral video hack here, a new trick there. They're completely missing the bigger picture, which is building a solid, repeatable system. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Success isn't about getting lucky. It's about having a structure, a framework. We're not just hoping to make a commission. We are intentionally, step by step, building a real business, a real asset. Okay, so if we're building this asset, where do we start? Well, you always start with the foundation, right? And that brings us to our very first framework, the inner game. This is all about your mindset, long before you ever click a mouse. So this first framework is called Favor Zenith, and really, it argues that all success is an inside job first. It's about having the mental discipline to show up and give value day in and day out, especially on those days when the results just aren't there yet. Now, let's break this down a bit. I want to pull out a couple here that are just absolute game changers. Take a look at results, seeing your data as feedback, not as a judgment on you. Just think about that for a second. A post that gets 0 clicks isn't a failure? No, it's just market research telling you what your audience isn't interested in. That's a huge mental shift. And then there's thought and humility. You've got to think like a business owner who is always learning, not some hustler who thinks they've got it all figured out. You see, without this solid foundation, the best strategy in the world is just going to crumble. All right, so with our mindset locked in, it's time to actually build something. Let's move on to our second framework, the strategic ecosystem. This is where we start designing the actual machine that's going to attract and serve our audience. And that machine is called the Smart 360 framework. Now, the key word here is ecosystem. We're not just throwing links into the void and hoping someone clicks. No, we are building a media powerhouse that brings in traffic, educates people, and then naturally guides them to the right solution. Let's quickly break this down. S is for social. That's your traffic engine. And right now, it's all about short-form video. M is for media, the actual stuff you create, like product reviews or tutorials. A is for AI, using tools to work smarter, not harder. R is for your roadmap, a real plan to stay consistent. And finally, T is for transformation. This one is so crucial. It's about showing how a product actually changes someone's life, not just listing off a bunch of boring features. Okay, so we've got the mindset, we've got the strategy, but what do you actually do every single day? How does this all get executed? Well, that brings us to framework number 3, which is all about the operational process, the execution workflow. This is the idea framework, and you can honestly think of it like your recipe for success. It's the repeatable, step-by-step process that turns a cool product idea into actual, real commissions. This is what makes your business predictable and scalable. The process itself is really simple, but it's incredibly powerful. First, you identify a winning niche. Then, you develop compelling content around it. You execute consistently, always asking yourself that critical question, who is this for? And finally, you amplify what's working based on the data. It's a loop, and this loop becomes the engine of your entire business. Okay, we have our mindset, our strategy, and our daily process. But what about the tools, the tech? This isn't about chasing every new shiny app. It's about focus. So let's look at our final framework, the Focused Toolkit. This is called the 3x3x3 formula, and its entire job is to save you from getting overwhelmed. Look, success comes from mastering a few key tools and platforms, not from trying to be everywhere at once. It's all about simplicity that can actually scale. So what does this look like? Well, the key is to choose your stack and then just stick with it. The source here suggests a really powerful but simple combo. 3 core social platforms, 3 essential AI tools to help you create, and 3 sales and marketing platforms to handle the business side. This kind of focus is your secret weapon against burnout. This slide right here, it perfectly captures the 2 different worlds. On the left, you've got the hustle model, always chasing virality, just pushing links and basically hoping for a transaction. But on the right, that's the system model we've been building. It's about creating a long-term asset that's built on consistency and real trust. It's a totally different game. So when you actually combine all four of these frameworks, what you get is a complete interlocking system that's designed for long-term success. This is really how you win.
And here's the bird's eye view of how it all stacks up. See? The Favor Zenith mindset is your solid foundation. On top of that, you build the Smart 360 content ecosystem. The idea framework is the engine you're running inside that system, and the 3x3x3 formula is the simple, focused toolkit you use to make it all happen. Each layer supports the next, creating a stable, scalable digital asset.
And that really brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. I want you to take a hard look at what you're doing right now. Are you just chasing commissions? Or are you intentionally building a real digital asset that can pay you for years and years to come? Because the answer to that question is going to define your entire journey.